Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. It is time to get into the latest episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. Start over. It's your girl Angie. Welcome to Kiss My Cheeks TV. It is time to get into the latest episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. My mind is scrambled. I have really been working my behind off at work. We have a special project. The deadline is March 31st. So I think I got an approval for an extension. But still, it's just a lot of work. I've been working a lot of overtime. So I'm sorry for the videos being late. Some days I might have another commitment. Like last night I had a sorority event. That's why Atlanta is tonight. Up next, I'm going to get into the latest episode of Survivor 48. I know the new episode come on tomorrow. I have just been so busy. But y'all know I'm going to get the content out to you all. And when it comes to the challenge, if you're a challenge fan, your girl has not watched. I have not had time to watch the challenge. Maybe tomorrow night I'll double up and watch both episodes. No promises, because I'm going to watch Survivor first. But, I'm going to catch up with the challenge when I catch up. But right now, we're about to get into Atlanta. I got 45 minutes to talk about these ladies, and that might be too much. But I took notes, because a lot went on this episode. I was entertained. I was bored. Have you ever been bored but still entertained? I think I don't believe a lot of what people are telling me, but it's new. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, but I still think you lying. But anyway, hey Glenda girl, hey DM Rocks. Britt is boring and Angela gives weird vibes to me. Kelly is the only one I like. That seems to be the sentiment around Twitter and around the YouTube land. Let's get into it. I'm gonna give y'all my 2 cents. Since I took notes, the first thing I wrote on my paper is I'm tired of vow renewals. And it's already 2 people talking about Big and their husbands for some renewal ceremony that I don't want to see. I don't want to see it. I don't care. Y'all married. Congratulations. Throw them wedding pictures up on Instagram. I don't follow none of y'all. No way. So I ain't got to see it. But I'm already unentertained. Y'all talking about, can I please have a vow renewal? Can we please? It's been, and we've been separated, and we did this, and we did the pandemic that. I'm already uninterested. Bravo. I don't want to see no more weddings, vow renewals, baby showers. We've seen it all before. I don't care. The only thing I would care about if it was like, say, Kenya would probably never do it because she didn't do it the last time. But let's say Kenya truly fell in love, kind of like how Candy really fell in love with Todd on the show, and we saw their relationship blossom, and then it turned into a wedding special. I would care about that, but y'all already married, and I just don't care. But let's move on. Let's get the liars out the way first. The episode opened up with Britt and her family. She reminds me of Mia, like a mixture of Mia and Marlo. And really, Marlo ain't nothing but an older version of Mia and Britt Edie. Like, y'all should have just kept Marlo. Y'all agree with me? Get in the agree with me in the chat if you agree. If don't nobody agree, then I'm out on the island by myself. But y'all could have just kept Marlo. We didn't need Britt. Kenya and Marlo have a beef. They know how to navigate each other in their beef. Marlo is usually the one that would hit below the belt, and Kenya would come do a stunt. And we would be roll our eyes at it, but at least Marlo would give us some good fashions. At the least. Anyway, Britt opens up telling us about how she became an insurance agent. And everything she said, sorry, I had to pop a jelly bean. I'm sorry. Everything she said about why she opened this insurance agency, further, it was like confirmation to my alleged beliefs that she's a fraud, a scammer. Is somebody saying that in the chat? I'm just going to say it. Britt and her husband give me scammer vibes. Yes. I said it last week. Nothing about Britt seems authentic to me. Everything that comes out of her mouth to me sounds like a lie. And the fact that she doesn't sound as intelligent as I would think an insurance agent should sound gives me scammer vibes. It just gives me scammer vibes. And maybe that's why she went ahead and sold that business and got a quick piece of change and moved on out the way. I don't know. But it doesn't sound, my bangs just won't do right. One day I'm going to do a personal video with my hair journey right now. But this ain't the time for a therapeutic hair moment. Just get through the video. Okay. So she became an insurance agent because her father passed away. And he had a $2 million life insurance policy. And I was like, oh, damn, your daddy has some money. But then she said he lost the policy because he was in between jobs and they had to start a GoFundMe to bury their father. And I said, hold up. Hold up. The accountant brain in me went like bling, 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 bling. I'm like, your family can afford to have a $2 million life insurance policy on the father. That tells me that your father should have a decent enough job where he should have some kind of savings, some kind of bonds, maybe a stock or two. Like if he can be responsible enough to have a $2 million life insurance policy, I'm assuming he got a little bit in the bank as well. But what do you mean in between jobs, he lost the policy? If the insurance policy was tied to the job, because like I have and put too much of my business in the streets, but I have a very nice insurance policy that's tied to my job. So if I ever retire or leave, that insurance policy is tied to my current position. So if he was in between jobs and it was an insurance tied to the job, of course, that policy is gone. Or was he in between jobs to where the policy lapsed because he was not working? I'm not really understanding, but it doesn't make sense for somebody who could have $2 million worth of life insurance at one point to have to jump all the way to a GoFundMe. He didn't have any assets. He didn't have a car y'all could have sold and put him in the ground, cremate. I don't understand why we went from $2 million life insurance policy all the way to GoFundMe. Y'all ain't had no nickels and dimes as a family to put together. None of my business. Angie, that ain't none of my business. And that was probably a long time ago. Get off of that. But I said all that to say it sounded like a lie to me. It just sounded like a lie to me. Her and her sisters built this multi-million-dollar insurance agency, but one of the sisters got tired of making money and quit, and the other sister got tired of Britt running everything, and she got fired. It sounded like the block got hot and they left. And I don't understand. I want to know, somebody bring this. Now, Kenya, that's what you should have did. Instead of posting pictures of fellatios, you should have went down there and got them sisters on the show and found out what's the real tea with Britt. and why neither one of the sisters want to fool with her or her insurance agency. But anyway, they having a family dinner. At the family dinner, Britt is bringing up Kenya again. All Kenya said was, "Girl, is this your second marriage?" She was. Is that it? Is that what starts this beef? Is because Kenya said, "Girl, is this your second marriage?" Because you was the one talking about a second ring that nobody even cared nothing about. Anyway, she talking about Kenya, and then they start talking about this vow renewal that she wants to have, and the husband don't want to talk about it. So she was like, well, me and the sister-in-law going downstairs. And let me tell you, I like the sister-in-law. For some reason, she gives me a Alicia Keys vibe. I can't put my finger on it, but she just give me a real cool, calm. You know, Alicia Keys, where it looked like, I can't imagine Alicia Keys being angry. Like, I'm sure that lady gets angry and has yelled, but she just gives me such a cool, calming vibe that I can't imagine it. That's what the sister-in-law gave me. The sister-in-law was speaking like she had sense. I liked it. I liked the family coming over. I liked the family moment. The sister-in-law was like, you need to make up with your sisters. We about family over here. Y'all go work that out. I like that. What else did they talk about? The husband came, they was talking about something else. I didn't forget. I ain't write it on my piece of paper. Who cares what they're talking about? They talking about this damn vow renewal service that I don't want to see. Fast forward to Portia and Kelly. Kelly called Portia on the phone. Who is? That's how we used to answer the phone back in the day. You know, back in the day when you ain't really have caller ID, because caller ID came out around high school. Back in the day, you ain't have no caller ID or nothing. So you just, who this? Who on the phone? I love it. Look, Portia, I don't like your ways, but you're fun. Like, Portia makes me laugh. Portia makes me laugh. I like her hair, her outfits, her makeup. I don't like her ways, but I like Portia. Anyway, that was funny to me. Kelly invites the ladies to some charity shop and chat, whatever it's called. We'll get to that at the end. Portia and Kelly meet up because Portia like, you want me to support your charity? Let's at least squash this beef. Look, this shit was fake as hell. I'm trying not to curse. It's gonna be hard. This scene looked fake as hell to me because I don't know. It just seemed like it was fake, but it was understood that we gonna sit here and be fake. Cause it was like, girl, have a drink. Girl, I don't know. You cussed me out the last time. I need to be sober because you'll haul off and choke somebody. You know, I gotta be ready. And Portia was like, well, girl, you was all of my business, but the internet all of my business. So I know you had to ask. I ain't too mad, but I am mad. Like, Kelly is short. Like, Kelly is tiny compared to these ladies on the show. Now, what was they talking about? Kelly explained that Shamea told her, ask Portia for yourself. This is where Portia gets in her feelings. So Shamea set me up for you to ask me about my ex-husband or my scamming ass husband. Party. And Kelly was like, no, Portia is not dumb. Portia is not dumb. She's not stupid. She reminds me of that Jessica Simpson where like they have stupid moments, but you don't become no billionaire off of selling these shoes and accessories if you're dumb. So Portia, I'm talking about Jessica Simpson, not Portia. But Portia also doesn't give me dumb. So she know, I feel like Portia knows what's up with Shamea. Like, Shamea is doing what any other grown person would do. Like, girl, I ain't got time to be fighting Portia's battles. You want to know something about Portia and Simon? Go over there and ask Portia yourself. Don't be over here asking me nothing about Portia and why she stole some lady husband. I'm not Portia. And as a friend, I respect that. Because Shamea, that's the title of my episode, is damned if she do, damned if she don't. Let's go ahead and wrap Portia and her mama up right now. Because that scene pissed me off. You need to be weary of the people carrying the bones. I know you know her from high school, but I don't really trust her. Girl, we don't trust you. You the one that raised this mess of a fool. I'm telling you, my mama would never. My mother would never. I would never. And I know some people like, Angie, you always in your son business, as I should be. As I should be in his business. Because my mother would never let me meet a stranger. She don't give a damn how much money he got. She don't give a damn how much money he got. She would never let me sit up in a stranger's face. And after 2 weeks talking about I'm in love and have my son bouncing up and down on some stranger's knee, my mama would have snatched cheeks up so fast and be like, you go be over there and be a dummy and bump your head by yourself, but we ain't getting the baby involved in that foolishness. My mother would never. I would never. And so Mama Diane, all the wisdom you should have, I don't see how you let that shit go down with Portia, but you was just too happy to get an upgraded house, I guess. You get to move in Portia old house, so you happy. You ain't got to pay no mortgage, no rent no more, I guess. You don't give a damn about the baby. And her living in a house with some complete stranger, that's a scammer. I'm just so happy nothing worse happened in that situation because you really didn't know that man. And you just jumped in head first with your children and all. And I feel like that's the responsible thing to do. And I done said it time and time again, so we ain't going back there. But I don't give a damn about nothing Mama Diane has to say because you raised that mess and you co-signs that mess. So that means everything ain't going on all upstairs in your brain either. But anyway, moving on. I don't care nothing about Portia and Kelly being fake to each other in this scene. They said we're gonna make up until we break up again, whatever. So Portia's mom manipulated her to not trust Shamea. I don't know how the editing went. You know how some things could have been edited out of order. I don't know if Portia had that spa moment with her mother before or after she spoke with Kelly. The way it was given to us on television is that Portia spoke with Kelly, and Kelly was like, Shamea told me to ask you for myself. That's why I asked that at the party. And Portia already had it in her mind that, oh, she was setting me up. And that's not what it was. And I can't, I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't deep dive into Portia's logic in that. Black people say this. I ain't even gonna say black people. People say this all the time. That ain't none of my business. Go ask for yourself. Like what you over here asking me about her for, go ask her yourself. People say that all the time, and that's not a setup. Because see, if Shamea would have sat there and said, well, she was in love and, she saw them private jets and them houses and them islands. And so, she swooped in and took, like if Shamea would have gave her the real, then it would have been like, what kind of friend are you telling my business? So damn, Shamea can't win for losing. Either way, Shamea would have approached this in Portia's mind. Shamea was wrong. And you want to know why Shamea is wrong in Portia's mind? Is because now Portia ain't on Shamea level no more. And I told y'all time and time again, when Portia is not on the same level as you, she's a hating ass bitch. But when Portia had all the rules, y'all know I can't say the name of that car. When Portia had all the Rolls Royces and the private islands and the private jets, when Portia felt like she was living that same lifestyle as Shamea, oh, they was best friends. And she's been doing this time after time on the show. It's nothing new. So yes, Portia's getting ready to hate Shamea again because Portia is not on Shamea's level. The next time Portia bag her an athlete, an entertainer, whoever she bags next to bring her back up to the same status as Shamea, her and Shamea be friends again. They'll be friends again. You are right about Kelly and Portia lunch being fake. They gonna get. I know they're gonna get into it again. The way I heard it on the YouTube streets is Portia ain't got no friends on the show, and that's why they brought Phaedra's ass back. But we ain't about to go there. Anyway, Drew is in the studio. I have listened to Drew's new album front to back. Let me just tell y'all, this is a good hand wave. This is a good hand wave. That album of Drew's, I have changed my mind. It is good. And I'm telling you, it's a couple of tunes that keep going through my mind. Now, Coco Jones is in my brain too. I've been watching that TikTok of Coco Jones. I put you on. You know, I ain't no singer. But so Coco Jones is in my brain too. But tomorrow night, I plan to do a mini review, 15 minutes of Drew's new album. So if you haven't heard it and you don't want, you might want to listen to the review before you listen to the album. But either way, check out Drew's new album. It's cute. There are a few skips, but limited skips. For the most part, you can put that album on and ride out to work or whatever. But anyway, Drew is in the studio. What did I write down? I did not recognize Angela. I was like, who the hell is this other lady in the studio with the rest of the girls? Cynthia, burn them wigs. I don't know who told you that little mushroom cut was cute. It wasn't cute on Sheree. It wasn't cute on Nene. And I don't give a damn what runways you used to walk up and down. It's not cute on you either. Burn them wigs. Kenya was there and Drew starts to laugh. The first thing Drew said was, well, you know, Dennis, you know, we don't even hardly talk on the phone. You know, we just kind of text. I don't even know why Portia that mad. I love production. Keep it going. Let these ladies lie while filming. But then when it's time to edit, throw in the receipt. Excuse me, I got the hiccup. When it's time to edit, throw up them receipts. They had a whole conversation of Drew on the phone with her brother Dennis. It's called Dennis Bro in the phone. I'm like, Drew, you don't know how to tell the truth, do you? You just gotta lie. Who cares? Dennis is what they call a bankrolling this album, which again, it's a cute album. It's good. He bankrolled this album for you. Girl, you telling me he bankrolling the album for you and he can't talk to you on the phone? Girl, don't nobody care. Nobody cares. Anyway, what else they talking about? I see Portia threats work because Drew was like, well, Dennis was supposed to be here. I don't know where he at. Portia told that man, film a scene with Drew if you want to. It's going to be some problems with you and your daughter. I believe that was a threat. I believe she was saying, you know, I'm a crazy ass baby mama. And right now I'm sane. But I could flip. I could flip to the insane like that. So film with Drew if you want to. And we all know Portia could flip like that. We done seen that lady throw dishes, microphones, shoes at this man's mother. We ain't going back over there because that just pisses me off. But Dennis knows if I want to keep the peace, if I want to keep co-parenting peacefully, and I do feel like Dennis is the only ones that put PJ first, and that Portia would wholeheartedly play with her daughter, the custody arrangement, as a tool to get Dennis to act right, because we all see Dennis Dennis was not on that camera. Though Dennis isn't needed. I mean, what they say back in the day, you want to make a record and the producer ain't dancing all in the videos. Like, the producer ain't got to be in the videos. This Drew album, Drew is a housewife. She can promote her album and her music on this show without having to film with Dennis. Now, if they would have filmed together, I wouldn't have cared. But it's not like it's necessary. It's not like the album gonna tank because Dennis can't be in the scene with Drew promoting it. So whatever. Anyway, Drew is telling the ladies she tried to communicate with Portia, but Portia wouldn't return her text. And then she got in the confessional and started reading off all the text messages. And I ain't even gonna try to read that shit. That mess. I ain't taking notes on that. All I gotta say is, Drew, you could have just said what you had to say. Cause question, were you asking Portia permission, or were you telling her that you're working with Dennis? Because if you were asking for permission, you could have put that in the text. Hey, Portia, Dennis reached out to me. He wants to help me put together an album. He's going to be executive producer. Is it okay with you if I work with your baby daddy? Now, to me, that sounds ridiculous. And I'm going to get to that because Cynthia, I'm going to get to you in a minute, Cynthia. I don't feel like you need to ask permission to work with someone's baby daddy. But I do think if you were giving a courtesy heads up, you could have just put that in the text as well. Hey, Portia, Dennis reached out to me and he wants to bankroll my next album, my next project. He's going to be executive producer. I just wanted you to know because we cool. Bet. Because I want to know if Portia would have came back and say, girl, no, I don't want you working with my baby daddy. That don't make me feel comfortable. Was Drew going to walk away from an opportunity to make this great ass album that she just made? I hope she would not have. Wasn't nobody else in Atlanta knocking up and down her door to get her in the studio. I mean, she been in Atlanta 3 years on this show singing lullabies and everything. I ain't seen Jermaine Dupri. Hell, even Candy made a whole 2 songs for damn Kim Zolciak, and she can't sing a lick. And Candy wasn't even knocking on your door to turn out a single or 2. So are you telling me Drew would have turned this down if Portia would have said, nah, I want you working with him? No. All you had to do was forget all that. Portia, when can I talk to you? Portia, when can we get together? Portia, forget all of that. Just say, girl, text. I'm about to work with Dennis. He about to pay for some music. I just want to let you know. Girl, if you want to be mad over there in that private island, in them private jets with your husband, but this is what I'm doing. And that's it. So, Drew, you full of shit. But anyway, I think Dennis had already told Portia, because then to me, I feel like Dennis doesn't want no mess with his baby mama and PJ. So I'm willing to bet money that Dennis, and I gotta speed this along. I'm starting to talk too long. I'm willing to bet money that Dennis already told, hey, Naomi, I already told Portia that, he's doing a musical project with Drew. And that was that. And Portia probably was in her feelings and didn't want to talk to Drew about it because she was like, you ain't never make me no music. You ain't never make me no star. Girl, you can't sing. But anyway, move on. Angie, move on. Kenya said, why is Dennis not speaking up? Because he got you out here looking like a whore. And what Cynthia talking about a whore is worse than a hoe, or whichever one. I don't know. I feel like a hoe is worse. I feel like a hoe is standing on the corner, and whores are high class. They get flown out on private jets. They get paid thousands of dollars. Them are whores. I don't know. Don't call me either one. But anyway, I do feel like Dennis did speak up, and I feel like Drew out here talking about that's my angel in disguise, all that. Drew is putting 20 on 10 is what's making her look like a whore. But anyway, Cynthia get in a confessional talking about we don't play about baby daddies because Kenya had to ask her if Leon could be on her twirl on this movie, whatever that, twirling around the world, whatever it was called. Ain't nobody watching. Cynthia, let me tell you something. Kenya did not ask you permission for Leon to be in that movie. And I guarantee you, and nobody else in Hollywood that knows you and your baby daddy coming through you for permission to work with Leon. He too big of an actor for that. What Kenya did is say, Cynthia, I'm trying to put out this project called Twirl Around the World, whatever it's called. Hook me up with Leon so Leon could be in this and I could have me a big name associated with this movie or TV show, whatever the hell it was. Wasn't nobody asking you for no permission, Cynthia. She was asking you for the hookup. And you can't make me believe no less. Anyway, moving on. We got a cute scene with Shamea and her sisters. What I love about Shamea on this show, to me, she the only one giving me her real life. She the only one giving me a real story. Yes, a lot of it is sad, but I don't mind a little bit of sadness if it's the truth. Like, I don't want every episode to be, woe is me and my kids in the hospital and I can't have no children story. That will get tiring, but we're only on episode 3 and it's her truth. And I haven't heard the story of Shamea's. Now, the adenoids and the tonsils that baby Shia had, I was very familiar with that. Cheeky, my son, had the very same surgeries, though I, being, is timid the word? The nervous mom that I was, I felt like he had to have them both. And I felt like, okay, I ain't about to run down my son medical history. I just felt like, well, he need his tonsils and they ain't hurting anything, so just take out the adenoids. And then later I found all of his siblings had their adenoids and tonsils out. So I was like, okay. And the condition he had didn't get any better. So I said, okay, go back in and do the tonsils. I should have did them all at the same time. I was a young mother and I was like, nah, I don't take his tonsils, whatever. But I understand Shamea's concern. It's a very common surgery amongst young children. But just anytime you got to see somebody will your baby away and they got to be under anesthesia, you just get nervous. But it was an outpatient procedure. Like, he woke up and took him home. So it wasn't like he had to stay in the hospital. But anyway, I understood where Shamea was coming from with that story. And I do understand the nervousness. Now, up to Angela and her husband. At first, I thought I liked Charles Oakley. But the more I got to know him and see how he communicates with his wife, I said, oh, the disrespect. I don't like the way how he talks to his wife. Like, I got too much mouth for that. I don't have it in me for you to take jab after jab after jab at me. And then you can't even be a gentleman. I'm carrying these heavy ass towels. I got 2 boxes and you can only carry one. And it didn't look like you wanted to carry that one. I would have issues with that. I have too much mouth for that. Marriage is not easy. Period. And I will never get on here and say that my marriage is perfect. And one thing that I do fight within my own marriage is when to keep my mouth shut and when to go off. And not even go off, but just say something. Because to me, not everything requires a response. Because sometimes a response will lead to an argument. Sometimes I let my husband say what he got to say. And if I agree or disagree, I just be like, whatever, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. You know. But it's very hard. But I'm saying this to say, the way that man talked to Angela on camera, I don't know if I could hold my tongue and just go to therapy. He's mad that she's spending too much money on therapy. If she's spending that much money on therapy, I'm sure she needs it. And you should be happy she's talking to her therapist and not cussing you out. Because I'll probably cuss his ass out. I already know. I can already feel it through the TV. What I don't understand about Angela, last week we had this huge package that she's a self-made multimillionaire in finance. She has some kind of financial management or advisement career. She rose to the top of the ranks and she made all this money for herself. And she bought these 5 houses and she's renovating them. This week, babe, can we have a vow renewal? I know you invested in my houses, but I really want to do this vow renewal because you got so angry back in the day. You got kicked out of the stadium and, you know, we separated, but now we're back together and I really want to celebrate that. I'm like, man, why we at... The independence in me couldn't understand. The independence in me couldn't understand because one thing I'm going to always have is my own money. And if I want to have a vow renewal and my husband don't want to pay for it, guess what? Ching, ching, I got my own money. Let's throw up some flowers, throw up the altar. Just stand your ass down there and stand and pose for the pictures. But I want to do the vow renewal. I don't understand why you need his money if you are a self-made millionaire and you have your own. I don't understand why you got to prove a damn thing to him if you're a self-made financial advisor, millionaire. He was a basketball player. I would think you're the one that should be advising the finances if you were self-made in that. Why you got to prove anything to him? Another thing I noticed, do y'all watch Put a Ring on It? I don't know what season it was, but that season of Put a Ring on It, the season where that man told that other man to bring him back a plate. He said, bring me back a plate. And he prayed. He was like, I pray you don't do nothing to my fiance so I don't have to whoop your ass. That season of Put a Ring on It. That's that same house in Sandy Springs that those people lived in. Now, I'm not saying anything about that. I just noticed that was the same house. And once they showed that block, I know exactly where that street is in Sandy Springs. I used to live in Sandy Springs. I do miss Atlanta. I do miss Sandy Springs, but I would never move back there. It's way too overcrowded. Way too overcrowded. But anyway, I just need your stories to make sense and be consistent because I don't understand. I know you married to an ex-NBA player, but I don't understand how you have your own money, your own education, your own career, and you're placating to your husband's ego of, I need to show him what I can do. Wasn't you doing all this before him? It's just the independence in me. Like, just because you get married don't mean you have to lose your independence and you have to play to the man's ego like you aren't a financial advisor, unless you lying to us on the screen. Because see, in my household, we do things equally, but I'm the accountant. So sometimes, like, we have our degrees in 2 different fields. So when it comes to accounting, math, I'm the expert in the house. Not saying anything any different, because when it comes to things that is in my husband's field of expertise, he's the expert in the house. So Angie, just, girl, you can't, and you got my same name. I can't get with it. I can't get with it. You know, you asking for permission. I need permission to get these new houses. Girl, why are we asking for permission? That word permission just, do what work for your marriage, girl. Do what work for your marriage. I really don't want to talk about the separation and all that other stuff. I don't care. Drew and her lawyer, because I'm getting late. It's time to talk about Survivor. Hurry up. Drew, you almost look good until you had half a piece of lingerie falling off the side of that black suit. That black suit and that wig was nice. It's just, you got to put one thing, Drew, to make it tacky. And it's kind of like Giselle and them. Y'all just almost be looking right, but it'd be one thing that make it tacky. Anyway, we learned that Ralph showed up to court without his lawyer so he could be the one cross-examining Drew, and Drew was a little bit uncomfortable. The judge said he gonna unseal the records, so all their personal business gonna be in the street. Drew started crying, and I stopped caring. Look, number one, Drew, from season one, your first season, first episode, you was on this TV crying about your husband and went off to Tampa and left you at home with them kids. By the middle of that season, we done learned that same husband of yours done put cameras all over the house, stuff in your phone, and that he's been tracking you. It's nothing in that divorce decree document, whatever it's called, that you was shedding tears about your kids finding out, that you haven't already openly said on this platform that your kids can still find out about one day. So suck them tears up, Drew, and move it along. Number two, they turned in all their financials, but Ralph just turned in Drew's financials. Are you telling me this man does not have a job? Because it's given he's broke. It's given everything he tried to do on this show did not succeed. Not them lullabies he tried to put out, not that step parenting book on how to not adopt your stepson because you don't want to pay that child support. That didn't work. Not the children's stories he put, nothing, not that lullaby lamp, nothing Ralph has put out on this show has been successful. So it's giving me Ralph don't have any money. It's giving me that your money is Ralph's money. And neither one of you all want to say that. I don't know, because I don't understand why. Okay, the judge said Ralph had to move to the basement and you ultimately want to sell the house. Sell the house. I don't know. I ain't never been in no divorce. You need permission from the judge to sell a house. Y'all could have been put that house on the market, because it seemed like can't neither one of y'all afford to stay in it alone. I don't know why you haven't took your children, Drew, and found you a cute little townhouse like Kelly did, so you don't have to be in this same space as Ralph. I would not want to be in the same space as him. He's very controlling. He wants to live in the basement so he can still have access to you. Not the children, so he can still put tracking devices on you. He can see your comings, your goings, who you're coming and going with. I would have gathered up my children and got me a cute little townhouse like Kelly's. Go live next door to Marlo, whatever you got to do. And leave Ralph in that house by himself, because it's very clear. I don't know. Neither one of y'all probably can't afford it. I don't know why y'all bought that big ass house. Anyway, moving on. Where am I at? I already said Drew was crying. I don't care about Portia and her mama. Let's get to this party. I love the party. The party was at, is it Ball Mom? Someplace I can't afford. I love seeing all the ladies and their daughters together. I love how some of them had on matching outfits, where I think it was Portia and Pilar, Kenya and Brooklyn. Some of them had on mommy and daughter dresses. I love that. I don't want to say that. I do have a daughter, but it's my stepdaughter. I never felt comfortable doing matching outfits with my stepdaughter because her mother lives here in Memphis too. And I felt like that was overstepping my bounds, doing something like that. And my stepdaughter's 16 now. She ain't gonna want to do none of that kind of shit now. Anyway, but my son definitely doesn't like to do that. He hates, like, my son is my complete opposite. He hates taking pictures. He damn sure ain't gonna wear no matching outfits. None of that. I'm waiting on my niece Zoe, and like my niece Zoe doesn't like it either. I'm like, none of y'all would be like me. I'm telling you, it's gonna be that first. Lord, please let it be. I don't know the day. It don't have to be no day soon, because I don't need no grandchildren any day soon. But within 5 to 10 years, Lord, let it be a little granddaughter that's just like me. I want her to look just like me. I want her to love all the things I like, to be a little camera hog so we could wear matching outfits and do photo shoots. Like, I'm telling y'all, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna have to be a granddaughter one day because there's nobody in the family right now that likes, except for my mom. Me and my mama do it. Y'all done seen me and my mama on Instagram. We'll wear us some matching outfits, and me and my mama will take us some photo shoots. Matter of fact, I'm going to see my mother this weekend. We're gonna take some take some pictures this weekend. But it's gonna have to be a girl me because I don't have a biological daughter, and my niece ain't with it either. Anyway, what else did I like? I like that we learned something about Kelly. Her daughters have brittle bones. And it was so sad that she takes her baby to the hospital for a broken bone, and it's due to a condition that nobody know of. But now you got CPS all up in the hospital sniffing around. I'm happy it was a doctor that said, wait, she has this syndrome, leading people alone. But I just like to learn new information. Now, I know it's called, I believe it's OI or IO, whatever I don't know the medical name, but I think it's brittle bones. And I like hearing new stories. Third, the third thing I love about this party, baby Brooklyn was getting ready to snatch that ugly ass wig off of Cynthia's head. Cynthia, your goddaughter knows best. She was trying to help you out like, this ain't my godmama. What's this shit on your head? Brooklyn was about to snatch that wig off, and I wish she would have, because Cynthia, it look a mess. Dean Ross, I ain't gonna put that up there. I think we all can put 1 and 1 together and get 2. But until she tell me 1 and 1 is 2, I'm gonna leave that off to the side. Portia comes in on time to Kelly's event, talking about, I had to be on time, probably because it was a shopping event and it only lasted so long, and she knew Shamea and them be partying all night. But anyway, Drew done stole my glam team, and they only did a little 15-minute beat. That's why I ain't looking too glam. Portia, you beautiful. You only needed them 15 minutes. I could tell she didn't have that heavy contour and that heavy glam that she usually has. I thought the light beat was still beautiful. Drew came in looking good too. Drew's hair and makeup, I like that little red auburn bob. I like the little floral jacket with the little bralette. Like, Drew looked good too. I ain't see what Drew was being petty because I ain't see her taking no extra time on that, but whatever. I already talked about that. What else going on? It's almost over. The lap dogs are fighting. That's what I put in my notes. The lap dogs are fighting. Look, the fact that Angela and Shamea are fighting on Drew's and Portia's behalf is already dumb enough. Y'all already look stupid enough. Are you gonna stick up for Drew? Are you gonna put your nose up Portia's ass? Like, you guys are fighting for 2 people who currently are already made up. You're fighting for 2 people who probably had a production meeting before this season even started and said, we gonna fake fight about this bullshit over Dennis anyway. Like, I'm telling you, you 2 are fighting over 2 ladies who are both putting 20 on 10, who both ain't worth shit, who both lie all day, every day. And you're both fighting each other for them. When them two won't even talk. I don't know who started it. I know something. What I put in my notes. I know what she said. You got a 99 nose, and she said, "Well, at least my nose ain't up Portia ass." Then she said, "Well, you look like Latoya Jackson. Well, you look like Flavor Flav." I'm happy she explained that Flavor Flav because I was getting ready to pull out my colorism flag because I said, "Why the dark skinned lady gotta look like Flavor Flav?" But she was calling her the hype man, and maybe she saw a picture of Shamea back in the day where she dressed up for him as Halloween. So I'm putting my colorism flag. It's back in the drawer. I ain't pulling it out today. But I did not like that one, but I'm tired of the lap dogs fighting. Drew wants to talk to Portia, but Portia said, your pit bull here. And I don't fuck with pit bulls. I ain't think Portia was scared of nobody. But I guess she said it ain't no plates for me to throw, so I better chill out. I can't tear up the ball monster. So I think that was the end of the episode. Yes, because Portia and Drew did not talk. It's probably going to be 20 episodes before they talk. It's going to be the end of the season before Portia talked to Drew, and I'm going to be over it. Next week, we're going to see the beginning of Kenya and Britt and how she about to twirl her way out of a check. I would love someone. I don't know who Kenya would respect enough to be open and honest enough. Maybe Oprah. Oprah don't care enough. But I would love someone to ask Kenya, why this? Because Kenya is definitely not an idiot. She's definitely very smart. I want to know what in Kenya's mind made her think that the stunt she pulled was not going to get her fired. Like, is it the Nene syndrome? Did she think she was big and bad? Did she think she was the queen of Roa and that she couldn't do nothing to get fired? Hell, Kenya, you just got back in their good graces off of that stunt you pulled with Mark. That's my only question for Kenya. What made you think that this stunt was not going to get you fired? What made you think that Bravo was that much in the gutter? Because they are in the gutter. I mean, I guess she said y'all was having threesomes with Bolo and all kind of orgies in the house. That ain't get nobody fired, so I could show a little picture. I don't know. I don't know what went through Kenya's mind. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to watch and we're going to get to that. And pretty soon we're going to lose Kenya. And I feel like the show going to really get boring once Kenya go. But I am entertained. Anyway, y'all, please like the video. Get in the comments if you're on the rewatch gang and let me know what you thought about this episode. Coming up is Survivor 48. I'm extremely late on that review, but I'm here. Give me 2 minutes to run to the bathroom and I will be right back. If you care about Survivor Sit Still, you will be whooshed into the next live and I will be there in about 2 minutes. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week for Atlanta. Bye, y'all.